and the outer bearing assembly must be removed for drum removal. Now with the chalk, mark the drum location and keep the bearings matched with the same hub and drum assembly they were removed from. As brake shoes wear, the linings leave harmful asbestos dust inside the drum. During brake drum removal and throughout the brake job, make sure you are wearing safety goggles and a dust respirator. With the drums removed, inspect the drum surface for any cracks, gouges or scoring, and burn spots. If any of these conditions are found, or if your drums are worn beyond the maximum allowable diameter marked on the drum itself, replace the drum. The place that resurfaces your drums will be able to measure them with a special measuring tool and tell you if they are worn beyond specifications. Whenever installing new shoes, make sure to have the drums resurfaced. This will ensure correct stopping power and maximum life from your new brakes. Before cleaning and disassembly, it is important to inspect for seal leaks. Look for signs of leakage around the axle seal and wheel cylinder. If leakage is present, replacement or repair of the old components is necessary before replacing your brake shoes. After inspecting, clean the backing plate areas in old shoes with a spray-type brake cleaner. This will help remove excess dust and fibers from the brake assemblies. With the drums removed, inspect the brake shoes. Any brake shoe that has a lining thickness of 1/16 of an inch or less shows signs of grooving, cracks, glazing, or burn spots should be replaced. Before disassembly, look at the location of the brake springs, hold downs, and links or cables. Make a sketch of these items and their locations for reference during reassembly, or if it's your first time, you may want to only disassemble one side at a time. This will allow you to review the opposite side during reassembly. The first step in removing the brake shoes is to remove the upper return springs. A brake spring removal tool is inexpensive to buy or rent and will make the job a lot easier. Now you can remove the parking brake strut, which is located towards the upper part of the shoes directly under the wheel cylinder. The next step is to remove the brake shoe hold-down springs. To do so, hold the spring retaining pin in from the back side, and with the hold-down spring tool, depress the spring while twisting the spring cup to remove it. Now pull the brake shoes away from the backing plate and disconnect the parking brake arm while removing the brake shoes and adjuster as one assembly. Match the old shoes up with the new shoes to make sure they are the same before reassembly. We suggest replacing the old hardware and springs whenever doing a brake job, as springs lose their tension from normal use and the excess heat buildup during braking. Inspect the backing plates for signs of excessive wear or sharp edges on the shoe contact points, and file or dress off any sharp edges with sandpaper. If you're not replacing it, disassemble, clean, and lubricate the brake adjuster and turn it all the way in. Now is a good time to inspect the hold-down pins and replace them if they are bent or corroded. Connect the parking brake arm to the new secondary brake shoe and hold the shoe in place up to the backing plate. Secure the secondary shoe with the new hold-down pin and spring. This is where the special hold-down spring tool comes in handy. Now install the new hold-down pin for the primary brake shoe and secure it with the hold-down spring and spring cup. Align the slot in the spring cup with the guide pin, push in on the spring, and give it a quarter twist once the pin is through the spring cup. This will lock it in place. Next, position the parking brake strut, but make sure it is facing the same direction as it was originally. Now install the new brake shoe return springs. Again, a brake spring installing tool makes this job easier and can help prevent some skin knuckles. Install the new shoe connecting spring at the bottom of the shoes. Position the self-adjusting screw or star wheel assembly. With the shoes fully seated and the springs in the correct position, slide the brake drum on. Align the chalk mark on the drum with the chalk mark on the wheel stud. If you are working on a spindle mount type of drum, clean, repack, and reinstall the inner wheel bearing. Install a new inner grease seal and position the drum assembly back onto place on the spindle. Install the newly repacked outer wheel bearing, the washer, and hub nut. Make sure to tighten the bearing nut to factory torque specifications. For the correct wheel bearing tightening procedure on your vehicle, refer to a published service manual. Now reinstall the locking ring and new cotter pin and the dust cap. Adjust the brakes by turning the star wheel until a slight drag is felt. Avoid over-tightening, as the automatic brake adjusters will take over from there. Put the wheels back on and tighten the lug nuts securely. Take the car down off the jack stands and torque the lug nuts to the correct factory torque specification. Gently pump the brake pedal until a firm pedal is felt. Check the level of brake fluid in the master cylinder and add fluid as necessary. Be careful not to spill any brake fluid when adding, as brake fluid can damage your vehicle's finish. Make sure you securely reinstall the cover on the master cylinder. Before driving the car, make several slow stops with the car in reverse. If your vehicle has self-adjusting brakes, this will activate the self-adjusters. After driving your car for the first 25 miles, make sure you re-torque the lug nuts. Drive your vehicle for 1 to 2 weeks and manually readjust the brakes if necessary. You've just completed your drum brake replacement. For written assistance or details on your specific vehicle, consult the published service manual.
Let's review replacing your drum-type brake shoes. First, safely support the vehicle and remove the tire. Remove the master cylinder cover. Release the emergency brake. Loosen the brake adjuster and remove the brake drum. Inspect the drum for damage and have it turned or replaced as needed. Inspect the axle seal and wheel cylinder for leaks and repair as needed. Before removing the brake hardware and brake shoes, draw a picture for your reference. Install new brake shoes using new hardware. Reinstall the brake drum along with any bearings and seals removed earlier. Reset the drum adjuster until a slight drag is felt. Depress the brake pedal until a firm pedal is obtained and add brake fluid as needed. Finally, make several slow stops in reverse to activate the self-adjuster. This will adjust your drum brakes properly.
Servicing or replacing your disc brakes only requires basic hand tools. Tools needed to complete most disc brake pad replacements are a jack, a lug wrench, and a pair of jack stands, a piece of chalk or tire lettering stick, a socket or wrench set, a 4-inch or larger C-clamp, a large screwdriver or pry bar, and possibly a hammer and punch. On many GM, Ford, and import applications, you may need a hex socket or Torx bit socket for caliper removal. The items you'll need to complete a disc brake job are a replacement set of disc brake pads, a high-temperature wheel bearing grease, some synthetic disc brake lubricant, new grease seals, a pan and some parts cleaning solvent, and some hand cleaner and towels for cleaning up afterwards. We also recommend wearing safety goggles and a protective dust mask while doing brake repairs. First, park your vehicle on level ground and block the tires on the opposite end of the vehicle from where you'll be working. Remove the hubcaps and loosen the lug nuts 1/2 turn. Do not totally remove the lug nuts at this time.